Are you able to hear me clearly? I have only 15 minutes to explain a topic about which everybody is talking all over the world, actually, like about AI. How many of you have heard of AI? Generative AI? How many of you are actually using it in your business today? For business use cases? Wonderful. So before we start off, it's an absolute honor and a privilege to be here, actually. I've been coming every year to IFA Galaxy. So I just wanted to give this small tribute. AKN sir, Ramesh Bhatt, all the senior leaders who have been here. I was reflecting on what happened yesterday, and this was written today morning. Even when I was listening to Gajendra Kothari, he was talking about how mutual fund distributors sit side by side. So this is my very small tribute to IFA Galaxy for the 15 years of service which they have done. Just a couple of points. Inspiring futures, both young and old. So yesterday I saw a lot of senior advisors sitting side by side with so many next generation people who have come as well. So many of the things which I felt about IFA Galaxy I've tried to pen down in this small poem. So this is my tribute to them. What's interesting about this is I wrote this on ChatGPT. And I wrote it in 6 minutes today morning. So today morning, 7 to 7:06, I wrote this actually. So it is about training ChatGPT in terms of how you can express your feelings. Two primary points, okay? All of us should look at this as an enabler. Don't look at this as a competitor. One of the earlier speakers were talking about if your customer comes and talks something from ChatGPT, don't listen to him. Respectfully disagree. I think use this as an enabler, see how you can use it for your business. So this is the most simplest use case. ChatGPT is one of the finest content creators I've ever seen. It's very experienced, it runs on models. If you look at each of these words, and I've used this multiple times, like think through the keywords when you go and talk to a senior person, when we talk to a youngster, what feelings you have. If you put it in, it expresses it actually. So use it as an enabler, not as something to fight with. So very quick overview about myself, because most of you might be listening to me for the first time. So I'm a 25-year student of technology, so I've been using technology in various things. Maybe one of the few people in this room who has seen technology on those green screens from mainframes, worked with open systems, have been in management consulting. Somehow every 4 or 5 years I try to like new things actually. Worked with retail banks, built credit risk analytics, became a full-time MFD. Like we started part-time in 2012, my partner Venkat was there. 2017 is when we got in full-time. I think we had about 48, 49 crores of client assets at that time. We've reached about 1,000 crores now over this 6-7 year period. Working with about 500 families across the world. And the main experience has been about how you can use technology and how you use it in the right way. There is this thing, is AI relevant at all? No, my customers totally trust me. AI has nothing to do with it. Vis-a-vis AI will completely disrupt the world and my business is finished. So we just have to decide where we are on this use case actually. Can you just open that page? Just open the page. So yeah, just scroll up. So this is a live case study I did this week. So one of the people who came to me saying that I'm a tech person in Bangalore, 55 years, lost their job suddenly. What do I do? Was their concern actually. So we went through our usual process in terms of interacting with them, working with them. But just for my learning purpose, I also took this through ChatGPT, just to understand like what it is going to say. And in 16 minutes, it generated a comprehensive 19-page report. Can you slowly scroll down? So it clearly asks like, what is the expenses? You can just keep scrolling down slowly. Just to give you a flavor, it clearly articulates, this is going to be your monthly expense. You have to worry about retirement. It says like, how do you compute? So this might be the most common goal, right? So how much money do I need to retire? A lot of our customers may ask. Clearly it gives the formulae, what are the assumptions it has taken, how much it needs to keep, and all this is without a single prompt from me. All I gave was 3 lines actually. At the end of it, it clearly gave this number, saying that you need 5.89 crores to retire. You can debate whether this is right or wrong, but think through the model and don't dismiss it, like the way it thinks through, right? And then it straight away, then I asked it a simple question, where should I invest the 6.89 crores? What should be the asset allocation? Just see the level of detailing. You can, in the interest of time, I'm running through, but it very clearly says what should be the emergency fund, where to invest it, what should be the debt investment, what are the different debt investment options. All this comes in a fraction of a second. How much should you put in equity? If you can just pause there for a second. Look at the asset allocation which it is proposing. 25 to 35% in equity. Touch your heart and honestly say, like, how many of us, if someone comes with this kind of use case, would propose this asset allocation? I have a lot of side routes when I asked it, should I increase it? Why should I reduce it? But we'll go with this flow. It also earmarks like where you should split this. Yeah, you can keep scrolling down, actually. It goes to the extent of saying in real estate, you should buy residential property in this area, commercial property where you should buy, where you should invest in gold. Yeah, just keep scrolling down. Where you should take international exposure, other investments. Gives a summary table saying these are the asset allocation, this is the amount which you should take. Zero prompt from my side. I just asked a two-liner in terms of what it should say. Just keep scrolling down. Things to keep in mind. Just pause here. The most interesting thing is it asks, this is known as a prompting. Would you like detailed recommendations for these stocks, funds, etc.? I'm just saying, yes, please share the recommendations. Yeah, if you can scroll down. Explicitly says which fund, which deposit. Yeah, keep going. Which investment, within fixed income, how do you split? Which is the corporate bond, which equity fund, which large cap fund? Just pause here, if you can just, yeah. Look at the kind of funds it's saying, like the previous speaker was talking about thematics, etc. and all. It has done the risk assessment. I've done this dozens of times for different risk allocations. Somebody is 26, somebody is 38, different goals. You get different answers, actually. It even says you should put money in stocks. Which are the stocks in which you should invest? Yeah, keep scrolling down. Real estate, which areas you should look at. More detailing. REIT, where should you put it? The exact level of detail. Yeah, keep scrolling down. Actually, all these points are very fascinating, but I just want you to get a flavor of what this is about. Summary, what is the actual recommended asset allocation? Final suggestions. How do you, just hold on. Then at the end of it asks me, would you like me to get into more detail or create an action plan? I'm just saying, just create an action plan. Yeah, just scroll down. So here, again, it says like, what should be the action plan? What you should be doing first? How do you track it? How do you invest in debt investments? How do you, pause here. So again, for equity portfolio, it is suggesting, how do you do it? Over a 3 to 6 month period, where you should start SIPs, where you should put lump sums, where you should consider direct stocks. Yeah, just keep scrolling down. How you can track it, which are the apps you can use, what are the gold investments you can do, what are the international exposure you can take, more specific details. Yeah. Make sure you have insurance. How do you do portfolio reviews? And then it asks, would you like assistance in, yeah, if you can just scroll down a little bit. Would you like assistance in calculating the SIP amounts? I'm just saying, yes, please. Scroll down further. It says like the 1.72 to 2.4 crores invested gradually over a 3 to 5 year period. Do a 5-year SIP is its recommendation. Think through in terms of the logic through which it is going. Yeah, if you can just scroll down. Which funds? Again, absolute detailing. You can scroll down further. Which professionals you should connect for which of these things? Yeah? How do you track your overall portfolio? How do you set up the SIP? If you're in Bangalore, who are the RIAs you should be contacting? What is their address? And then it keeps asking me for more and more detail. Do you want to connect directly? I just thought this will give you a flavor in terms of what this can do. Now, you can look at this in 3 ways. You can look at it as a competitor. You can look to see like how you can train this as a model in terms of how to use it. If you can just flip back to the presentation. Yeah. So just an example, it total took 15 minutes. You get a 19-page presentation in terms of how to do it for a customer. Why we should be ready for this? Today, the customer is changing. Now, whether the customer gets the right information or not, even yesterday somebody was talking in terms of how the customer is accessing information. Today, more and more, if you have kids, go and ask them how they do their education. My son does all his project reports on ChatGPT. He has 3 different tools. He does the report on ChatGPT. He uses a humanizer to convert it into human text. And then he has an AI checker to make sure his teachers don't catch him. That's the nature of the world, actually. I mean, you can't change it, okay? That is fundamental characteristic change for Gen Z. Again, lots of data. I'll give you use cases later. This Thursday, a client called me. He was 56 years old. He had some query on taxation, etc. The most interesting thing is, I already got the answer from Copilot, but I'm just checking with you. And the answer from Copilot was correct, actually. And he said, if the same thing happens 2-3 times, I can stop calling you for all these things. This is an actual reaction. This is not from a Gen Z young customer. This is an actual reaction from a 55-year-old person, actually. So this is a case study I was talking about. I'll just skip it. Customers ask questions: how to select a fund, what are the top performing funds, how to construct portfolios. I just typed in there, the name of my firm is Marina Wealth. As a customer, should I consider Marina Wealth? What it is telling me, I think they're a good firm. They seem to be honest, sensible, but I suggest these are the 7 things on which you check them out. Okay, this is what the customer will do. Now, whether a segment of it will do, all of them will do, when will they do it, are all different questions. But understand the customer psyche in terms of how things are evolving. Stock picking, again, our AMCs will also get impacted. Like, when we have time, we can take it through, but there are so many ChatGPT stock pickers who do a phenomenal job, actually. In fact, one of the funds in UK, purely based on ChatGPT, it's been outperforming active funds 99% of the time. This is the summary slide I want to leave you with. I'll run you through use cases. How can we as an MFD use it? Past 2 days, we are hearing a lot of queries in terms of how. I mean, you should do this, you should get more productive, you should engage people, but how do we do it? 4 different use cases. I'll try to do it in 30 seconds. First is Concision. Do you agree with me today we get a load of data? 40 mutual fund houses send 40 different equity outlook reports. I get monthly outlook, weekly outlook, this outlook. Who the hell has the time to read all this, if you have absolutely frank, in terms of, if you have to read every single document. I have trained ChatGPT. You can just go there. This is a simple example. Somebody wants to know which are the subcategories of hybrid funds. If you go to the AMFI website, there's a 76-page IAP document. I just upload the document. I said, use only this attached presentation. Tell me what are the hybrid funds. 10 seconds, it gives me a concise answer which I can take to my customer. The use case I am using is, I put in multiple market outlooks, one from Shankar and Narain, one from the Axis Fund House, and then I ask it to compare and I get a comparative view. See, it need not be the decision maker. Look at it as a productivity enhancer. If you have to spend time in reading 600 pages, if somebody reads it, summarizes it for you, you read the summary, and you evolve your view. And you can train it. I actually think this way. I am very bearish. Now you read all this and tell me. It will tell you. Concise. Concision is the single easiest low-hanging fruit for us. Upload the document, get the summary, read the summary, decide. In an age of information overload, you can use that. Design templates. I'm talking about very simple things. A lot of us look to hire people. The first thing we need is a JD, right? In terms of what it is. Go to ChatGPT. Tell it, I am a mid-sized MFD based out of Karur. I am looking for a BCom student, blah, blah, blah. And you keep prompting it. It will give you a first-class 2-page JD in terms of how to do it. You can create client review plans. Use it for productivity enhancement. Content which you need, content which you think is very relevant for your business. There are hundreds of use cases like this. So on the fly, I just created a client review report saying, if I have to talk to a client, what are the 10 things he's looking for? Gave me an 8-pager with sections saying, these are the things you need. These are the funds they are looking. This is what customers are looking for. You can make whatever presentation you want, but this is the customer's view in terms of how this is required. The poem I already told you. Similarly, I trained it on my overview deck, gave it my content. It wrote a poem for me. If nothing else, use it for your marketing content. It makes the best sales pitches I've ever seen. You go talk to a 60-year-old person. I was talking to a guy, he was also based out of Bangalore. They were a pure tech guy. He said, like, I do only direct plans. Why should I do regular plans? So just for, while Gajendra Kothari gave a beautiful example, But I have my own view, right, in terms of why regular versus direct. I just asked ChatGPT. It said, first thing you learn, acknowledge the value of direct plans to the clients. And it's giving me a 2-pager in terms of, I suggest, these are the 4 ways in which you can counter it. Use it as an input to refine your thinking. But for all sales pitches, it gives beautiful elevator pitches, 100-word summary, 200-word summary. The more you train it, the better it gets. Best use case I've ever seen for ChatGPT has been done in the US. There's a planner called David Oritz. You can go and read it up. He faces a problem which I think all of us face. We talk to clients. Clients are happy to talk. But after that, extracting data from the clients, putting it in a format which meets the regulatory requirement, there is a ChatGPT engine he has created called Client Meeting Summarizer. He talks to the client for an hour. He makes sure that he asks the client 10, 12 questions which are relevant. Meeting gets recorded. Then there's a transcribing tool which makes a transcript out of it. He uploads the transcript into his tool, the Client Meeting Summarizer. It actually just gives a report in this format. This is the category, this is the name, this is the meeting time, this is the narrative, this is the summary of the key points. It captures emotions. During the conversation, the client may say, I am very confident about equity markets, I'm a star. See, we talk about risk tolerance, right? It takes into account what the client says in which context and gives a narrative to the risk tolerance. This is an advanced example because here in this, you'll have to do some programming, you'll have to create the AI. But I'm just trying to, see, I'm just telling you, use this to solve your business problems. The simplest thing is content, right? The first use case I did was, I asked it to compare HDFC FlexiCap and UTI FlexiCap. Okay, 10 seconds and I'll finish this. HDFC FlexiCap and UTI FlexiCap, it gave a beautiful answer saying this is in this style, this is in this style. How do you do mean reversion analysis? It understands the concept of mean reversion. Do you buy funds which are at the bottom of the cycle? Do you buy funds at the top of the cycle? How do you use it? I've given a YouTube link. You can go to, see, one of the simplest or the biggest challenges I faced is a fund manager will come to my office, HDFC top 100. That's the example I've taken over here. You've got years of portfolio data. You can just train it. You can upload the last 12 months monthly summaries. It will tell you this fund exited SBI at this time. It entered Kotak at this time. This is what it did. This is the summary of what it did. And then I'll ask the fund manager in a very informed way, why did you do all this? The fund manager is very impressed. How did I know all this actually? I just uploaded those 20 files from ChatGPT and trained it to do it. This is an example of, and imagine if I had to sit and manually read and SEBI mandates that portfolio should be shown in a particular manner, right? They say ISIN should be this way, then the stock name, then the portfolio weight. Makes life very simple for us. And ChatGPT is so smart, even if you put the wrong file convention, it will still read it. And by the way, there is no pitch for ChatGPT. Yeah? There are many other things. There's Perplexity, there is Grok, there is DeepSeek, there are lots of...
Prasanna, we are completely out of time, Prasanna.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I'll conclude here, but I just hope this gave you a flavor of what it is.
Can we have a big round of applause?